All right, welcome back to Blue by 90. I am Justin, joined by Kalen and Jack. As always, it is March 3rd, Wednesday, March 3rd. And guys, it's a weird feeling because we are talking after a Michigan basketball loss, which hasn't happened that often. So I don't know. Do you guys have kind of a weird feeling today, waking up?
It's a very rare feeling, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. I almost feel kind of relieved, man. Like they were due for a bad loss, and I'd rather have it happen now than even against MSU or in the tournament, So cool, get it out of the way. I'm happy. I'm fine.
Yeah, I feel like, you felt like it was coming eventually. So I'm glad it's now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this was, I'll take it. So, okay, let's just get it off the table. That was just, they looked like they had never played basketball before.
It looked like a completely different team.
It was so weird.
It was just like, very weird. Every aspect of it. Everything they did well in, they did poorly in, and I don't know. Maybe it was just all the games piling up or something, but that team was totally fucking different. And I kind of loved/hated how every Michigan fan account was so overreacting.
Oh, we were done.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, Jesus, guys, it's one fucking game. This is their only second loss of the season to a good team.
Yeah, I actually hopped on the Twitter to check it out a little bit, and I was like, wow, these people are wild. These people are just going off of nothing virtually. So that was pretty amusing.
Especially for a second loss in a basketball season where even after that loss, they're still probably going to be a number one seed, and they're still in sole possession of the Big Ten standings. So, it was just it's so funny how fucked our fan base is. not saying we're not part of it, we're all fucked.
Definitely we're part of it.
Oh, yeah, we're just contributing.
Yeah. I think that honestly, every Michigan fan is so scarred by football that this is how they think they should react to everything. Even when they have a really good basketball team. So nobody knows how to act.
That's right. Nobody knows how to fucking act. That's true.
It's also, I've seen our guy Matt Burns, he was talking on Twitter, and he was very nervous about these MSU games, which I'm not gonna lie, I am too, but it's I don't know, if it wasn't MSU, none of us would be concerned because they're not that good of a basketball team. Aaron Henry's really good. The rest of their team stinks. And so here's why Matt Burns is very worried, and me and probably a lot of other people are too. Michigan fans have had to go through these MSU games where they're highly favored or shit happens way too often. So now they're just scarred forever that you have to expect that MSU is going to win or something's going to happen. Michigan's going to underperform or blow it or something. It's happened all too often that's what comes to our brains right away.
I'm with you. We talked about it before. I expect a season split. I think Michigan wins at home, and I think Sparty wins in East Lansing. The only thing we can hope for is, Adrian Nunez or somebody comes off the bench early purposefully just to aggravate Aaron Henry. They both get in a fight. Maybe they both get tossed, and then we got nothing to worry about. A little bit of excitement there.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll get into Michigan MSU in a little bit, but I do want to talk about the last couple games here. I think that the Ohio State game first and foremost was the best played game of maybe any college team all year, except for maybe Baylor versus West Virginia last night, which was
that was incredible.
Well. So that was up there. And then, you just can't expect even against Indiana on Saturday, it was just, they were playing so well that it looked like nothing could possibly stop them. And so, I think let's also get this on the table. The real reason why they lost last night was because I was in Chrysler. That was obviously the problem.
You said you were going to leave at halftime, and clearly you didn't.
Well, what do you want me to do here?
Wait outside.
You need to
Watch
leave.
it on your phone. Yeah.
Fuck.
Come back if they need you.
I know. I thought about it, honestly. I thought I should have, but
Go down the street, get some takeout, do something.
Yeah,
I've heard that
selfish.
ends badly.
It does. That's true. That's true. But hey, Michigan was up at that point in time.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'll take the blame. I'll wear this one. I won't be going back to Chrysler. Won't be there on Thursday. Won't be in East Lansing on Sunday. So, I was thinking about going to the Big Ten tournament.
I was just about to say that.
Before that, I was thinking about it because there are some rumors out there, #sources, saying that there could be tickets for the Big Ten tournament. If you know people, I'm not going. I'm out. I can't have this Michigan season be resting on my shoulders like that. I can't take
That's
the pressure.
true, man. You're bad juju so far. We're 0 for 1 when fucking you're in Chrysler. Michigan basketball is winless when you're in attendance.
How about the fucking bad luck that they've played 17 games or whatever, and they've played unbelievable in 15 of those. In the one game I go see, they play some of the worst basketball I've ever seen. Like, it was not enjoyable, literally from the moment I was there till the moment I left. I'm like, this is the only in-person Michigan athletics event I've seen in the past 12 months. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me here.
It makes me wonder how good they would be if you just didn't even turn the TV on. It'd be like LeBron out there or something.
Honestly, I do have a bad record of Michigan road games for football. I thought it was just Jim Harbaugh and our football team isn't good on the road, but I do go to a significant amount of those, and so maybe that's on me too. I got to stop, I think.
Yeah, we got to get you out of there somehow.
We got to – I'm going to record this data set and really dig in. And if it's you, I'm sending Jim Harbaugh a letter from you apologizing.
From me. I'll sign that shit. Send me the draft. I'll put in some stuff in there that I feel like I need to. Oh, God. I didn't have any beer last night. I think that was a problem as well.
Wow.
I've drank beer for pretty much every other basketball game, and last night I was in Chrysler, so I didn't. So
I'm shocked. Why didn't you sneak anything in? You were so high up, nobody had to be up there. Was anybody up there, like around with you, or you were just like fucking around?
No, everyone. There were people up there with me.
Oh, okay.
It is pretty crazy. I was up on the catwalk for a little bit. It is pretty crazy how like everything looks from up there. It's kind of fun.
I'm just imagining Roe just like up in the nosebleeds by himself,
chugging beer.
That'd be
just
fucking
wearing
amazing.
Wearing his big Dickinson Energy shirt, just going, yeah.
You know the gif of Russell Westbrook like trying to eat his wings on the bench. That's me like chugging some Fireball in the top row of section 222.
Oh my God. That'd be a beautiful picture. You just see that on Sports Center. Scott Van Pelt's talking about it at 3 a.m.
The cameras have nothing else to look at. There's 100 other people and not even probably 50 other people in the arena.
Hey, there's some idiot up on the catwalk. Let's go see what he's doing.
Yeah. So let's talk about where things did actually go wrong on the court though. So there weren't many good things. Austin Davis was the only guy that came in and did anything seemingly productive. And even he, is not good on the defensive end.
Yeah, that's bad.
But, I think the big thing to me was foul trouble. Foul trouble from the get-go with Hunter and Franz. And Juwan pulled a beeline. He did, where it's the automatic, if you get 2 fouls, you're going to sit for like 10 minutes straight. And I don't like that move. I think when you've got Kofi Coburn on the other side of the floor, you need to somewhat take a chance with Hunter and say, hey, I've got Austin Davis here in my back pocket that's going to be, serviceable. But if we want to win this game, we need Hunter Dickinson on the offensive end of the floor too. So that was a big issue.
Yeah, Austin Davis on Kofi Coburn was a huge mismatch. And you saw, as soon as Hunter came out of the game, Kofi was just went to work on Davis.
Even the 7 foot foreign dude, I don't even know what his name is.
Yeah, they just made Austin Davis look. It was. I think it was everybody's probably worst game of the season. They shot poorly. They didn't rebound. What else do they fucking? They had less turnovers. I think that might have been one positive. But it was, that was brutal. That was a brutal game to watch.
Yeah, and from my eye, it was the offensive rebounds too that really killed us, right?
Yeah, it was definitely the rebounds. I think I tweeted it, which was like right like in the middle of the game or something, but it ended up that Illinois had 40 rebounds to Michigan's 24, and Illinois had 11 offensive boards. Michigan only had 3, which those rebounds led to 22 second chance points for Illinois. So that's the game. That's the whole game. That's the difference in the score there. And so, that is something that Michigan has done really well up to this point. So it's kind of surprising to see. I don't know. It was just like being in the arena. It was really weird because obviously there's only 50 people there. So it's not the same environment of Chrysler that I've ever seen before. But it just seemed like everybody was kind of in a fog and like slow. I didn't think they had their legs. Obviously, like I think Shondi airballing that free throw again.
That was fucking brutal.
If that wasn't a sign of them of being like super tired and not having their legs and everything, that I don't know what was. But that's what concerns me. If they're tired now, they play tomorrow. I
know.
And MSU played yesterday too, but like if you come out again like that, even against MSU, there's no chance you win against them. Against an Izzo team that all they do is rebound every year. So if they don't crash the boards against MSU, it's not going to be pretty for Michigan.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that they couldn't get up for a game like that. Top 5 game at home.
Big Ten championship.
For a Big Ten championship, like it was a brutal show. I think it had to be they were just fucking drained from however many games they had to play in the last 10 games. But still, you got to think the competitiveness of each player would have came out yesterday. But I don't know. Everybody's got bad games, and this was a bad one for Michigan, that's for sure.
Yeah, the biggest thing we can do is kind of, examine it, see where we can improve, recuperate, and move on to MSU.
So, yeah, let's talk about MSU a little bit. They had a resurgence. Last week was their best week of the year by far. They beat Illinois, right? Wait, who am I saying?
Yep, Illinois and Ohio State.
Illinois, Ohio State, yep. So, that they would be nowhere near the conversation for the tournament if they don't win those 2 games. So now, last night was a big bubble game against Indiana because Indiana's on the bubble too. And they win that one down the stretch. I was watching last night and it was a tie game, or Michigan State was down by like 2. Aaron Henry had their last 12 points, and he outscored to end the game. Aaron Henry outscored Indiana's whole team 12-5. So,
wow. That's the only way they're going to win anything is if he takes over, right? Yeah. That's what you got to expect.
That's where in my head I'm thinking like, okay, you either put Eli or Franz or both of them to, on Henry, and then you say, good luck. And if the other guys beat you, they beat you. But I also think on the offensive side, I don't know anybody on their team that's going to be able to guard Hunter. So as long as you can keep Hunter out of foul trouble, the mismatch, rivalry game aside, the mismatches all are there for Michigan all around. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, just based off athleticism and honestly, you never know what fucking Spartan team you're going to see too. They're either going to be really good or going to be really fucking bad. Yeah. And I'm just hoping that they're really fucking bad. But I feel like Sparty does have so much size and what you'd expect to be talent at the 5, but seeing what Hunter's done to every other big guy, especially in the Big Ten, you got to think that he's going to have a huge couple games against Sparty.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't been watching Sparty that much, so it's kind of hard for me to say. I've seen him here and there, like, go from this team that seemed like they've never seen a basketball hoop to, like, beating some legitimate teams. So I'm with you, Jack, where I'm like, I have no idea what to expect in terms of what team shows up. But I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm hoping that, we've given Hunter a couple days to let his hair to grow back, and then he can kind of get back to it.
Fresh cut, though. Got to acknowledge that.
It was a fresh fade.
He probably saw our boy, the Arab barber.
That's right.
Dude's the best barber in Washtenaw County.
I saw Jay Do on Twitter, though. He was like, who cuts their hair in the middle of a winning streak?
Oh, man. Guy must not watch a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball players don't tend to let their hair kind of grow out. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think so. Early line, Clayton, which I saw Clayton last night, by the way, guys. I
was gonna say, it looks like a couple pictures were pretty close to each other.
He was in Chrysler last night, so I got to see him, and so that was good to see him. But he tweeted out early line from Barstool Sportsbook, 12.5. Michigan is favored by tomorrow night against MSU at home. I mean,
dude, don't show me that Illinois game, and I'm like, fuck yeah. Why isn't it higher?
But that's just like that is a huge line. I mean,
that's a huge line. Yeah.
It's back. It takes me back to October, in freaking Michigan's favored by 23 as well.
Yeah. It's true. It's very scary, especially a rivalry game. I mean, and you got to think Spartan basketball is a hell of a lot more talented than Spartan football. And they got fucking Hall of Fame coach in Izzo. I mean, can't count on anything in a rivalry game. I do think they'll win at home, but I don't know. It's hard. It gets me hard to take two from them.
Well, it is. It's the month. It's the month of Izzo. January, February Izzo now, so they've got.
I mean, they're undefeated right now. They're 1-0 in March, I think.
1-0 in March. You just never know. Never know. So I'm not. I highly doubt that Juwan Howard is taking this game lightly, taking either of the games lightly for the rest of the week.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd be shocked if he took the Illinois game lightly.
Right.
I feel like every game's huge for him.
Yeah, he just strikes me as a coach who shows up every game with in crazy intensity. So that would be weird if he was taking it light.
No, I'm not even.
Bad take, Roe. Why do you even open your mouth? Who is this guy? Who is Justin Roe?
Who is Justin Roe? That's a great question.
I still want that on a t-shirt.
That's going to be the next fucking Brian Gumble or something. Who is Justin Roe?
Oh my god. So yeah, do we think Juwan's actually going to be prepared for a game for once, or what?
Yeah, honestly. I mean, I will say this. I will say this. Fuck you guys, but I will say I think Juwan still has a lot to work on in terms of in-game coaching when he's down.
Man.
I think he struggles. He struggled in the Minnesota game too. When they went down, I mean, Wisconsin was fantastic. When they were down by 14 at halftime or whatever and came back. But I think that when things aren't working the way they normally do, I think he struggles a little bit with the rotation to try and find like tell me when Michigan's down 11 towards the end of the first half, why Terrence Williams is going in and why Mike Smith has been sitting for 6 minutes.
True. It's a good point.
No, yeah, maybe you're onto something in that respect. I mean,
I'm not saying.
Do you know what Mike Smith what his stats were when he came out?
Oh, when he came out, they were bad, really bad. He looked off from.
I was saying everybody was fucking missing shots. Maybe it's just like, fuck, man, you can't make a shot, try somebody else. I don't know. I didn't love seeing Terrence Williams come in that early in the game. I'm with you there.
You're down, dude. Like it's not like Terrence Williams, like Shaundi. I love it when Shaundi comes in that situation.
Normally provides a spark, hits a couple corner threes.
Terrence Williams is not game ready, in my opinion. There was a time last night where he got the ball and immediately chucked it to Austin Davis down low, and Austin was not even ready for the ball. It was like hot potato from Terrence Williams, and I was like, "What are you doing?" So he's not really comfortable in that situation, especially pressure situation, top 5 matchup down. So I don't know. I would rather see Mike Smith. I'd say see your guy out. He's having a rough 10 minutes or whatever, but like he's your guy, you know. I think he's your guy that's going to run the offense, him and Eli. So ride him a little bit, let him get into a rhythm. It's not like I'm saying Juwan's a bad coach, obviously. I just think he's got some room for improvement there. Don't laugh at me.
It's funny because I'm fucking with you because you've said it. I mean, you've said it all season, and before the season started. So I was like fucking with you. God, Michigan fan base just overreacts after every loss.
I did see a couple.
Should we fire Juwan?
Fire Harbaugh. Fire Howard. 2020.
What takes you got?
Takes from Twitter last night. Somebody was like, a national championship team does not lose like this late in the season.
Yeah, they're like, they don't lose by 23 in March. I'm like, Jesus
Get
Christ,
the fuck
dude.
out, dude. Like, yeah, you know what? I think in 2018, Michigan lost to MSU by 23 and then went to the national championship game.
I was going to say, Wolverine Corner, somebody put out stats like every year that Michigan's gone to the Final Four, they've had like 2 fucked losses.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, we're just holding up our end of the bargain, you know, trying to keep it rolling and with the tradition.
Yeah, I think, it was not great to see with Io out. And
yeah, that was weird. That was very unexpected.
Very unexpected. He was warming up and everything. And then, so I think that they were like, oh, Io's out, probably an easy dub, right? And so I think a little bit it was like a relaxed, but then like, you can't let fucking Trent Frazier, whatever, is that his name? Trent Frazier? Dude went off.
I don't even know.
Frazier or whatever.
That's the problem.
And then,
he's not even like a big name guy.
And he's a senior, so I think he's important to this team, but he's not their scorer. And then they had a freshman come in for Io that fucking killed it right away. And I'm like, dude, you can't let that guy come in. It's like fucking having Rocky Lombardi come in and kill it against you. Like, I don't know.
That guy's good though. That guy's pretty talented. I think he's their 2 guard. Number 44, lefty with the hair.
Is he? I don't know. I haven't watched Illinois that much, but I don't know. But those guys made it look like they were the best 1-2 combo in the fucking country.
Yeah.
Against our team, who's supposed to be very good defensively in those positions. But I will say, I tweeted this out too. Dude, Frazier was talking shit. Mad shit. Like, looking over at the bench after every single bucket. And he deserved to because he's not a fighter. But, like, Michigan Twitter, everyone's like, oh, Michigan Twitter talking shit and doing the raids and the memes is like, the team, it doesn't really affect the teams. Illinois had a bigger chip on their shoulder than, like, they probably should have there. So I feel like they were on social media watching.
I mean, maybe. Or they could just be trying to win a Big Ten title, you know? But I saw something about somebody was like, maybe we should have, like, hid the raid memes, all that shit. That's it. I mean, I think Scott Bell put it out. It's like when your team's having fun and, like, they're winning, ride that roller coaster. Like, whether they're winning or losing, keep it going. That's what makes it fun. And we were sending shit back and forth. I was like, man, I'm going to put up 10 videos tonight on Instagram. And we're just, like, pulling stuff from everywhere. I mean, everybody was pretty excited about that, like, hopeful win. And honestly, I thought it was either going to be a blowout win by Michigan or a close loss. And it was the exact opposite. Just a blowout fucking win by Illinois.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm one of those. I'm like very superstitious. So I was not. When Wolverine Corner tweeted out like, "Here's the meme raid thread."
You're like, oh fuck.
Oh fuck! Like this is not good.
Well, somebody dropped like a zip file that had like 50 fucking memes in it, just ready to go. I'm like, okay, that's amazing. I wonder how much time that took you to fucking put that shit together.
I mean, that's just preparation. You just chalk that up to you. Our team is more prepared than your team.
In the meme game.
In the meme game, not in the real game.
Hey, Michigan Twitter got a big shout out from Big Cat. That's pretty fucking cool.
Big Cat's in the podcast game, so are we. It's kind of like we're partners in crime here, so. Yeah, I'm sure he listens to us, and he knew what was going on. So
yeah, we'll see tomorrow. He'll put something up. It's like, always love getting a shout out from Blue by 90. Be amazing.
Exactly. Hunter's been on there. Did you know that?
Well, I don't think, was he on Pardon My Take? I know he was on the Barstool Bench Mob.
Oh, you're right. But I thought he did something.
He might have done something with Big Cat and those guys. Yeah.
I think he knows them, or he did a little call with him or something. But yeah. I mean, we're just blessed that he's in our DMs. We're just very blessed.
True. Very, very true. Can always go back to that day of glory where he fucking DM'd with Hunter Dickinson.
When he's like a fucking first round pick in the NBA someday. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, tomorrow we'll see. I feel like this was such a letdown. It makes tomorrow's game much more important. But it's like
it kind of deflated my excitement though for it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
You know.
I mean, I'm sure I'll get pumped up. I think we're going. I organize my work schedule so I don't work tomorrow night. I don't work Friday morning, and I think I have Sunday off for the game. So I'm just gonna get blackout and I'm gonna enjoy this game. And I don't know where I'm gonna be. So we might try to go to like Frazier's or Pretzel Bell or something. Try to do something fun. I think Frazier's would be an awesome atmosphere if we can get everybody in like the little room that we had before for March Madness. 50% capacity for restaurants, man.
Oh,
that's a little more people
starting
I think
Friday?
Friday? I think it's right now. I didn't watch anything about the schedule. I just heard 50%, so I'm talking out of my ass.
All right.
Probably Friday.
Don't listen to Jack. And this is only in Michigan. We got listeners countrywide too. So
Texas, 100%.
They got the no mask mandate, baby.
That's fucking wild, dude.
We'll see how that goes. It just like I've got.
You guys want to make a trip down to Austin?
I've got friends that are in Texas and they're like posting on Instagram and stuff, and it's just like same with Florida too. It's just like I don't want to get political at all and take either side, but it just the weird part about it is like it's like a different world.
It's like a completely different fucking world.
You know, so it's just so wild to see all that go on. So
not that I'm jealous or not jealous, but man, what I would give, I would definitely quarantine after, but I might risk getting COVID just to go to a fucking packed bar again, man. Jesus, it's like give me that like adrenaline, man.
Oh, hey man, I heard that
yes.
I heard Alabama was gonna have full stadium for football in the fall. So
SEC baby,
can always take you down Tuscaloosa.
SEC. I'm trying to go down to Cox by 90, hang out with Jeff.
Oh hell yeah!
Show me your TDs, do some tailgating.
I think that we're close to Michigan. I think we're gonna have a full stadium for Michigan. I really do. I think
in the fall.
I do.
No fucking way.
It's fine. You don't have to.
Don't
believe me.
Give me hope. Don't give me hope there.
You don't have to believe me. That's fine. I don't care. But I think that I think that we're supposed to be fully vaccinated by May apparently now.
What?
And that's why we are putting together all of our resources to buy some COVID vaccines, and we are going to give them out to a lucky listener. Doing our part.
Oh, man. That's amazing.
So it's a good thing.
I had no idea where you were going with
Neither did I. I was just waiting for the bomb to drop. That's good.
It's a good thing that these podcasts have made us billionaires so we can afford a vaccine.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. What if we made off our website like 9 cents, right?
Dang, making profits, baby.
I haven't even looked at it in like 6 months.
I was DMing with our guy Caleb Martin though the other day, and he was like, dude, I cannot wait for the Blue by 90 tailgate come fall. So
hell yeah.
Whether we're allowed to or not, it's gonna be happening somewhere.
For sure.
Of course.
We'll be able to get somewhere and have a tailgate. Definitely. Yeah. I think they'll. I mean, it's such a fucking moneymaker. So is like tickets to a stadium. I don't think it'll be a packed house because you're stuffed in there like a fucking sardine, but I think they'll have to do some sort of capacity to let people in just to make money.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way they can go 2 football seasons without, selling tickets. Like revenue wise, whether it's healthy or not, most of these places, I mean, if you look at college aside, like obviously it's, revenue's huge in college, but it's still an academic institution. If you're looking at the NFL, like, those places are not going to give up millions of dollars in ticket revenue.
Oh yeah.
If they're allowed to. So I don't know. I'm very confident because of the 50%. We're opening more. They did something like in a 10,000 person arena, like 750 people can be in there, I guess. Yeah. Which is like, what's the math here? 50% in a restaurant, 750 in a 10,000 person arena. I'm just confused, Gretch. I'm just confused. I'm sorry.
It's because even like venues, like Heather and I's wedding venues, like didn't get moved at all. It's like it doesn't fucking stack up. So I don't know.
Yeah, and it's tough too, right? Because U of M tends to be so, COVID conservative, as we've seen with basketball, right? Huge overreactions, in my opinion. And so, who knows where we'll be in the fall versus a lot of other institutions.
Yeah.
I think we'll be the last, that's for sure.
That's the frustrating part a little bit, is that we're here in Ann Arbor and they probably will be the last to open up. So, but you know what? They're going to be the last to sell beer. They're going to be the last to do everything. So it's just something we got to deal with here. So, but you know what? I'm putting it down. We're freaking tailgating in the fall, guys. I really think
100%.
We're going to be at football games. We're going to be tailgating. Even if we can't go to the games, we'll obviously tailgate. But shout out Caleb Martin. That's our guy. Wait, he sent us a voicemail like a week ago.
I read it, but I never actually listened to it.
All right.
So if we could play that right now, that'd be fucking amazing.
Let's just play it. None of us have listened.
Oh, I love it. I'm excited for this.
We'll see what he says.
Can Roe figure it out? We'll see. What do you think? Over under a minute takes Roe to figure this out, Kalen?
Ooh, over.
Over?
That's a bad bet.
Yeah, wow. We fucked that up.
Can you hear it?
You got to put it like up next to a speaker.
One thing I've noticed seeing the recruiting rankings coming
All
out.
right. Here we go.
Hey, fellas. It's Caleb Martin calling from Toledo, Ohio. Just a couple things especially with recruiting. One thing I've noticed seeing the recruiting rankings coming out for football for 2022. Why in the fuck aren't we approaching the recruiting trail the same as guys like Juwan Howard or exactly like Juwan Howard? I mean, you see, there's a reason we're one of the top programs in the country in basketball. We're going out and we're fucking bringing in top 10 recruiting classes in the country every fucking year. Then you go and look in football.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch, Justin.
All right, here we go.
22, and Ohio State has, Ohio. I'm not fucking saying Ohio State. They have how many players in the top 100, top 150, and we're recruiting 4-stars that are 3-stars that are fucking ranked 700, 800. And I guess I just want to hear your guys' take on why you think we're doing that. And even looking at Ohio's recruiting classes last year, fucking unreal class again, and they don't recruit anybody lower than 200 in the country, 300 in the country. Why are we not setting that same standard for ourselves?
I'm interested. I'm ready for this conversation.
200 in the country, 300 in the country. Why are we not setting that same standard for ourselves? And then again, like as we've noticed with Coach Gaddis on Twitter, after the basketball team beat the Buckeyes last Sunday. Why are we still saying their name? They don't say our name. Why are we still saying their name? I mean, growing up in this state, seeing the hatred that they have for us and for Michigan, and I don't know. I just don't know why we don't share that same hate. I just want to get your guys' take on that and your thoughts. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to hearing you guys' next pod. Let me know what you guys think. As always, go blue, fuck Ohio.
Hell yeah, Caleb.
Love it. Love that
Love it.
ending. Love that.
So which
that's the
one do
way
you
to
guys
end.
want to jump into first?
I mean, this is a good transition, I think, to football here for a little bit. I mean, I'll ask kind of what he asked, which is, Juwan Howard came in as a first-year head coach and offered just about every 5-star in the country. He was not going to, and Michigan basketball was in a good spot after Beeline, but it's not like Michigan football is in a bad spot to not get 5 stars, right? I mean, they're not in a great spot, but Juwan Howard came in and was incredibly aggressive on the recruiting trail, and he was only offering, I don't think he's offered a 3-star other than maybe his own kid, right? So, why does Juwan Howard settle for 3 stars? Why is he not? Maybe it's okay to settle for 3 stars if you miss out on those 5 stars, but it kind of seems like they don't even shoot for the 5 stars. So what do you guys think about that?
I'm going to go with cool factor. Michigan football has lost its cool factor, where Michigan basketball, one, it's on an upward trend. They've been to 2 national title games in the past 10 years. They've had multiple conference championships. Their head coach is fucking Juwan Howard from the Fab Five. I mean, and you're playing basketball indoors, so it doesn't matter as much when you're playing games. That kind of takes the weather out of it from going like down a little bit down south. But I mean, I feel like there's not as much like old head tradition in basketball, whether it's in football, and it just doesn't make it as cool as going to a place like fucking Ohio State. I mean, you see all those programs, like, they're cool. They're fun to go to. The game presentation, like, there's fucking fireworks at the stadium and all this shit. Like, it's an insane production, and it's so fun. And it's just, I think the Michigan old tradition is catching up to them. And people might hate on that, but if you want to be 12-0 and fucking go to the playoffs and beat Ohio State, you got to have a cool factor. And I feel like Michigan football's kind of lost that. Harbaugh was exciting the first couple of years, but it's, from my perspective, outside looking in, he's just not. It's apples to oranges to me. It's the same school, but it's totally different.
I don't disagree. And what Ohio State has done really well is they have the cool factor, but they still have kept a lot of those traditions, right? So they get it on both ends. So I don't like to compliment those fucks a lot, but I think they've done a good job there. Jacqueline just yelled at me from the other room. Dropped the F-bomb. All right, Kaylin, what do you got for us?
I mean, damn it. I mean, Jack kind of stole exactly what I was going to say in a lot of ways. So I have to try to look at this from a different angle. I think, have we confirmed that Jim Harbaugh hasn't done that? And we haven't gotten a lot of those 5-star recruits? I mean, I think there's a chance that we are trying to recruit those guys and we're just not getting them. Which would then lead me to say, why aren't we getting those guys? Let's just be honest here. We're not excelling at the same level as the other elite programs, right? Guys who are 5 stars tend to be, a little bit prima donna-y, right? Guys don't want to hear the 40-year spiel from Michigan. They want to hear, hey, how would you like a ring? Come to Clemson, right? That's a pretty easy sales pitch. And if you're a kid who's 17 and everyone's going like, yeah, that's right. If you come to my school, you can come play for 3 years, maybe even win 2 rings, and then go in the first round and get a $40 million check. That's an easy sales pitch. A lot better than how would you like an education for a lifetime,
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you're definitely not wrong, which is, to me, it's sad because the 4 for 40 pitch, 4 years at Michigan, and it'll pay off for 40 years of your life, is a great pitch if people can buy into it, right?
Yes.
It's a great pitch because it's very true. It is incredibly true. I mean, my fiance is living it right now, working at Michigan. She's in the 4 for 40 program, honestly. And so but I agree with you in the fact that an 18-year-old thinks that they're going to the league. Every single one of these guys that are coming into college football have been that dude for their Pee-wee team, their middle school team, their high school team. Now they think they're going to be the guy for college and then be that first round pick. And so I agree. It's this fantastic idea because it's very realistic and true for probably 95% of these guys. But they don't want to hear that. That's not what they want to hear. So, I mean, obviously we've seen a big recruiting splash since Caleb sent in this thing with, Will Johnson is, committed on last week. We just got a new 4-star wide receiver,
Tavon Trent,
something like that. So like I do think, honestly, they must have heard his voicemail, even though we didn't play it, because they are starting to go after bigger guys, higher ranked guys. So I don't know. I mean, that's definitely, I want this next staff to do that. You've got a shot with every 4 and 5-star out there. You're a gigantic name. You've got the resources, the facilities. You've got the name in Jim Harbaugh. Like, what else do you need there, right? Obviously, wins is a big one. Championships is a big one. But you've got it on the recruiting trail, and now you've got some great recruiters. So I want to see them go after those big dogs and get them.
Oh, another thing real quick, just to touch on. Do you think that the academic standards at Michigan hold us back from recruiting the guys that maybe are some of those top 10 recruits?
I'd say maybe, but I mean, still, look at basketball. Obviously,
True.
You have to get less, talent for basketball, which is helpful. But I think it's always easy to fall back on that excuse, and I think it's a valid excuse that maybe it might be holding some guys back, but I don't know, man.
My response to that is I think that if Jim Harbaugh came out and said, I want this guy, but he's got a 2.0 instead of a 2.5, my bet is that he's getting him. That kid's getting through. But my thought process is that when a 2.0 kid comes to Michigan on a recruiting visit and hears, yeah, great academics, school's going to be hard, that kid said,
last thing they want to hear. Yeah, that's the last thing they want to hear. Yeah, I know what you're selling.
Yeah.
I'm speaking from my experience. That was part of, I couldn't get into Michigan, but like, it's a hard school, dude. So it's like one of those things where I don't think that it's holding Michigan, like Michigan's not shooting itself in the foot, because there are so many people out there that hear it and see it and they're like, oh, the admissions is not letting Xavier Worthy in. It's not like the admissions department doesn't let these kids in. I promise you, if these kids, if the football team wants these kids to get in, they're getting it. But I think it's the same with like a Northwestern or a Stanford. They get a certain profile of kid because there are a certain level on the GPA scale or whatever you want to call it that'll say, I don't really want to go. It's a Cardale Jones. I'm not here to play school.
Yeah.
This is not getting those kids, right?
No.
They're getting kids that are in the 4 for 40 because classes are hard. You won't make it here at Michigan if you aren't really smart or pretty smart and can make it through a semester. So I think that's where the disconnect is, more than like kids not getting in.
Yeah, I thought I remember Rich Rod's had a situation where he talked about, I wanted some kid who was NCAA eligible but not quote unquote Michigan eligible. So just,
There's definitely a higher standard. Like, I'm not saying that there's not a higher standard at all at Michigan. I think there is a higher standard than just like the GPA minimum for the NCAA, because I'll be honest, here's my take on it. The GPA minimum for the NCAA is 2.0. What that means for a school like, let's say, the University of Miami, who admits, just about anybody, that means for the football team, they admit somebody who's a 1.6 and they fudge the numbers, right? For Michigan, you can't get anybody in that's less than a 2.0. So you miss out on some of those guys, and it's really like they say you have to be 2.5 and above. So they'll fudge the numbers for a 2.2 kid to get them to a 2.5. That's how I see it. So there still is a higher standard, but yeah, that's how I see it.
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut before I say something stupid. So I have nothing. I don't know anything about any of this. What? Oh, I thought Ro was still frozen. I was like, what a fucking
I
screen
froze.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's I think it's kind of a myth, but not really a myth. I think it's real in some aspects, but not like they don't let guys in unless they have a 4.0 GPA. Like that's what some people think. So
Yeah.
But it definitely affects recruiting for sure. So let's get to the other question that he raised, which is a great question as well. Why don't coaches like Josh Gaddis hate Ohio State? And why does Ohio State hate Michigan so bad, even though they've kicked the shit out of them for 20 years now? But here's actually a good way to say it. We haven't talked about Josh Gaddis, that his tweet about like how Ohio State should have been in the national championship or the college football playoff or whatever. We haven't talked about that. Do you think he was bending the knee? Was he bending the knee to Ohio State, or was he in favor of the Big Ten Conference?
I think he was probably in favor of the Big Ten Conference, but it sure as hell looked like he was fucking bending the knee. I mean, you got to be aware. Awareness level 0 for Josh Gaddis right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he should have just not tweeted anything.
I mean, it's so easy not to tweet.
Yeah.
It's so easy not to tweet. Nobody is asked, like, it'd be one thing if they were in a media session and somebody asked him that question. Hey, do you think Ohio State should be in the college football playoff? Well, I think they're a top team. Unfortunately, they weren't able to play enough games. It wasn't their fault. I do think that they're one of the top teams in the nation. After we played them, they were very, very, they didn't play them. But, you could answer that way. You could answer that question in a way to say, yes, great. Like, they're very good. They do deserve it, but not feel like you're, like, rooting for Ohio State. Nobody asked him to fucking tweet.
Yeah. Came out of nowhere. Came out of
reason,
fucking left field. Yeah.
No reason for you to tweet that. So, I mean, that goes to the bigger question. And Caleb, you're not wrong. I think I see it all the time where Ohio State just hates Michigan, and Michigan seems to be like, a lot of the time. I think there's hate.
It's a culture thing, man. The culture is fucked up in Michigan football.
Well, I think there's hatred in the week of Ohio State. I think there's a lot of hatred from the Michigan side. But it's a 365, 24/7 type of thing for Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing where Ohio State campus, they block out the M's all over campus and everything. Mm-hmm. What would be the equivalent of Michigan's version of that?
I don't know, block out the O's, but that's not even you can't do the same thing.
Yeah. That's a good question.
It is a good question. I think that it's here's my thing. Okay. I have been to Columbus plenty of times for games, not for games, things like that. If you dare wear Michigan stuff in Columbus, then they it could be a random fucking Tuesday at a restaurant and people will give you shit for it. Right? If people wear Ohio State, I see people wearing Ohio State stuff a decent amount here in Ann Arbor.
Oh,
and
yeah.
People don't say a word. That's what I think the difference is they it is truly from not only the team but the fans. It's 365, don't step foot in our city type of a thing, where Ann Arbor people are just whatever. They don't really care. It's just fuck that guy. He's walking down the street with an Ohio State shirt on. I really could care less. I'm going to walk right by him.
Very accurate.
Maybe that ties into a little bit of exactly what Ohio State historically does not like about Michigan, right? That quote unquote attitude of we're better than you, right?
It's the arrogance for sure.
Arrogance, yep.
Well, I think it's a lot of it is the arrogance because Michigan fans, after getting beat for 20 years, still are arrogant. You know? I think that's half of it, right?
If anything, I feel like it should flip, right?
Yeah.
That the Ohio State fans are so arrogant because they keep winning, and Michigan fans should just co-opt everything that they've done.
Why wouldn't honestly, an Ohio State fan watching a Michigan fan walk down the street should just turn up their nose and turn their cheek and not even notice them because Michigan's irrelevant, right? In Michigan in football, but it's the opposite somehow, that even after 2 decades of domination for Ohio State, they still have the pedal to the metal in that hatred. And I don't know if it's, I would love to go back to the 90s, or even early 2000s. I think we were too young to really realize it all. I would love to know, what was it like with that hatred? Was Michigan hating Ohio State just as much or more? Or were they still the arrogant, yeah, we're better than you whether we win or not this year type of a thing?
I'm very curious of that, because it's not like Ohio State was dominant or anything. Like, they were, kind of right along with Michigan, I think. So I wonder if it wouldn't be so one-sided.
Dude, it's actually really funny because that's true. When I was a little kid, I didn't know any Ohio State fan. And my world was so small. So the fact that somebody was rooting for Ohio State, I literally just couldn't fathom it. It was what is wrong with that guy? Look, there's a sea of these just people who I have no idea where they're making them,
It is true. I think that I related to the MSU rivalry too, where, to be honest, I think that when MSU's bad at football, obviously lately it's been different because even when MSU's bad, somehow they're pulling out some wins against Michigan State. But when MSU's bad at football and Michigan's good, Michigan fans don't even pay attention one bit to MSU until that MSU week.
Yeah.
Ohio State fans, when they're really good, they could be 11-0, 12-0, and they're still watching Michigan every week, hoping that they lose, even if Michigan is 5-4. That's where the difference is. How do you flip that? How do you change that culture? Because the team can change that culture a little bit. How does it change to where it's the entire fan base that is flipped? Because that's the difference. And I know that people are like, oh, well, a fan base can't, doesn't affect a football team. No, I disagree. I think the fan base has a lot to do with what the culture is of that football team and how they treat other teams. Because on social media now, in recruitment, all that stuff, every one of these guys get a gauge of how fans treat their players and treat their opponents and rivals.
I mean, I think it stems from the top, stems from the head coach. Who's the coach of the football team? Who's leading them? Who's the face of that program? And right now, it's a boring Jim Harbaugh.
Dude, that clip I sent you guys of that coach, the basketball coach from 2008, just fucking going off in his press conference. Imagine if Jim Harbaugh did that every time he lost to Ohio State, and he had that level of
intensity. Yeah. It's different, man. Culture is totally different.
Do you think? Here's a question. So if you hadn't seen that clip, it was of Michigan's women's basketball coach from obviously not KBA. We love KBA. We're KBA stands here. Orange Theory member. If Jim Harbaugh went off like that women's basketball coach did, again after a 62-39 loss against Ohio State, is he more loved, or is it dude, stop fucking crying?
That's a good question. It depends how it's portrayed? Like, what does he say? I mean, if he's fired up, I'll be fired up. Like, it'll get my juices going. You know?
Against the other team though, not like complaining to the refs or something, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, it's less of him like whining, more of him like, fuck those guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That I would be fired up for that.
Yeah, I agree. I think
it'd be easier to get the fan base to root for you that way. Except for all the old heads that are like about tradition, like, we're better than that. Get out. Go fucking watch the game in your home.
And you know what? If they're gonna be like, I'm not watching Michigan football anymore if they've got
Good.
this. I see ya.
Yeah, see ya.
That'd be great. I think that I agree. I think that the Michigan fan base would be 100% behind it. Maybe not 100%, but a majority behind it. The rest of the world would be like, look at this loser, right? But who gives a shit about the rest of the world, dude? Like, it's us versus the world, right? That's how it should be. Like, that's where Juwan and, like, I'll say this, like, that's how Mark D'Antonio viewed everything. That's why he was so successful at MSU, it was him and their team and their program versus the world. And I don't know why Jim Harbaugh can't take that. The world, Jim, I don't know if you know this, the world hates you. The world fucking hates you.
It's true.
Why can you not take this it's us against the world mentality and say, fuck everybody outside of these doors, it's us together, and we're going to take on the world? They have it there. It's right in front of their faces. Why can't they take that on?
Get me fired up. I'm ready to be drinking a beer on a golf course.
I'm ready. I'll wave the flag for us, yeah.
Jacqueline's peeking around the corner. Like, what the fuck are you doing right now?
I'm working on my pregame speech.
She says I look like a tomato, and I think it's just because I've been yelling.
Tomato face is back, baby.
I haven't seen the sun in years. I still got a tomato face just from screaming into.
It was nice and warm today, man.
It was.
Hell yeah, dude. It was great. I told you I was sitting outside drinking a beer for lunch. It's amazing.
I love that you specified lunch. It's fucking Wednesday.
It's like dinner time for me, but lunchtime for normal people.
That's true. It is. It is. So, all right. Well, do you guys have anything else? I think it
was a great way to end it. And some positive news is the media is starting to think that Imani's going to go pro, which we've thought all along. There's no fucking way he's stepping foot on a Breslin court. So good news for Michigan fans, I guess. Although I'd love to see Michigan beat their ass with Imani on the team.
I would love for that class to come in with Imani and then Michigan's still better. That would be because they've been waiting for Imani for fucking ever. I almost want it to happen. I want it to happen. So, all right. Well, Sparty versus Michigan tomorrow in Ann Arbor. I won't be at Chrysler, so that's a good thing.
Mark it as W.
Michigan. All right, here we go. 0-90 is your game predictions. We'll go 2 game predictions, one for Thursday, one for Sunday.
Okay.
So 12.5 point favorites tomorrow night in Ann Arbor. I don't know what they are on Sunday. I don't think the line's out yet. It usually comes out a day before. I'm assuming it's going to be probably 8 or 9, I would imagine. So score predictions for Thursday and for Sunday. Kalen, we'll start with you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I have
Jack,
absolutely no clue.
I want to say it'll be a big win, but with Sparty, you never know. I think I'm going to say Michigan 75, Sparty 72.
All right. I like that. I was going to go, I think it's going to be lower scoring than that. Sparty can't score. So they're going to have to play defense and out rebound. And I think Michigan is going to, they play great defense too. I'm going to say they don't touch 70. I'm going to say 68-61 Michigan on Thursday. And then for Sunday in East Lansing. So it's kind of, this is like, I think this will never happen again.
No.
Where MSU plays in Ann Arbor for senior night and then Michigan plays in East Lansing for senior night. Dude,
I love it. I hope they do that moving forward. That'd be amazing.
That'd be awesome every year. Like, it'd just be crazy. But I'm gonna go in at senior night. They're kissing the Spartan head, all that stuff. I think Michigan still wins, but I think it's very close. I think that Michigan wins like by a bucket or two.
I'm going to be so boring. I'm betting 75-72 for both of them, both games. I have no fucking clue. I just hope we win both.
You've given me a frame of reference so I don't sound ridiculous, but it might still be ridiculous. I think that this first game, like, Sparty might hang in there, but I do think that Michigan will kind of kick it into gear and run away with it a little bit more. So I'm going like 74-61 in this first game. But in the second game, I think it'll be closer. And because I'm a homer, I'm going to go 69-67 Michigan.
All right.
There you go. So we all got Michigan with 2 dubs.
Fuck, yeah.
You said that they were going to split, you idiot.
I said I wouldn't be surprised if they split.
No, you said I think they're going to split.
I'm going to be a fucking homer and root for Michigan both games. They should win both handily. They should win both handily, but I just don't know.
I don't want Michigan State to win strictly because of your wife, honestly, if we're being dead honest.
We need bragging rights from football. You don't get bragging rights for splitting. Like, we need 2 dubs.
Agreed. Especially a split for Sparty when we're number 2 in the nation and they're bad. Like, bubble team is a W for them. So if you're Michigan, if you want bragging rights over, the state, you have to win both. So we'll leave it on that. Michigan's going to win both. We'll see you guys after these 2 Michigan State wins, and we'll talk about the Big Ten tournament and everything there. But thank you for listening. You can follow us at BlueBy90 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as at BlueBy90 Podcast on YouTube. Thanks for listening, and go Blue.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.